Over the past month or so, I've heard from a lot of you. And some of you agree with my points and wanted to express that. Some of you disagree and wanted to give counterpoints. And some of you are looking for advice or information about development in the industry in general. And I think the thing that stuck out to me most is that there are a lot of people saying they feel anxious or fearful about development and their future in it. This is a thing that I think every developer deals with at some point. I know I have, and I still am right now. I've gone through several periods of burnout in my career. Around 2016, I finished up at a job. I disagreed with the way the company was going, and I quit because I kind of stood on a principle, and I said, no, this isn't the right way for things to go. And I ended up unemployed for almost a year, I think, maybe a year and a half. I eventually got a job, a contract role, which again, I was like, oh, I can become a contractor. I can work for, these companies for 3 or 4 months and then switch around, and maybe I could work 6 months a year. And it didn't work out. I ended up in my first contract, and then I was looking for a second contract, and I just couldn't find one. And I ended up unemployed again. And it wasn't until then, 2018, that I started with another company on a permanent role. So I had to spend a year living with my parents and, trying to figure things out, get back to where I wanted to be. We all go through rough patches, and I think we could try to address those in different ways. There's almost two schools of thought when it comes to this. The old classic is I'm going to take a vacation, take a break, and that can really help, to be honest. The past few months, since April, we went to the UK, and my friends got me into Warhammer. I've been painting models since then and enjoying that. And it's been something I can pour my energy into and really feel satisfied with in a way that just taking a break didn't. And it almost feels like, hey, I'm being a person again. I'm no longer a developer. Things have become more real for me in an odd sense. It's almost like when I was deep in work and dealing with all this stuff, everything became abstracted to a sense. Like, I'm not standing on a train, I'm in transport to work kind of thing, I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, but yeah, it's that kind of stop and smell the roses thing, which I know sounds trite, and often a lot of these things do. But I think the core thing here is that you're not your job. You're a person who has a job, and you choose how you want to engage with that. You don't have to have a GitHub profile with lots of open source contributions. You don't have to have a portfolio website where you have all your side projects. You don't have to have a solid, straight through work history with no gaps. You can work around all these things. And to be a developer, I think the core thing that you need to be able to do is to say, I don't know how that works, but I can find out. And I want to find out. Curiosity is the main thing that makes us good at our job. It's all about creativity and finding solutions for problems. And as long as you have that, you don't need to worry about every tiny detail or every new technology. You just need to focus on what makes you a good developer. And so the other approach, obviously, to this problem is the Primogen's approach that he would promote quite a bit. Find something that interests you and that will give you your confidence back in development and pursue that. And when you get there, find something else and do that. And that's worked for me as well. So about 3 years ago, I had a massive panic attack at work. We'd made several decisions that were going in a negative direction. Reports were taking too long to generate. Server resources were increasing. And I had kind of felt that maybe I'm not good enough for this job. And so I traveled. I went to Germany and I studied networking over there. I followed a YouTube series on the CompTIA Network Plus, which I will recommend actually is Professor Messer. Does some very good tutorials on all the CompTIA certs if you're interested in those. But through doing the exam for that, I kind of regained a bit of confidence and I felt, hey, look, I'm learning something new. I'm not being left behind, even though I guess networking is quite old in that sense of like most people just use Amazon now. But I would choose one of these two approaches if you really feel anxious. Do something that you can put your energy into and that makes you feel good about yourself, whether it's programming or not. And just know that you're not alone. We all deal with this. We all have our moments. And right now I'm in one. And so I've taken a few weeks to visit some friends and try and get back in shape, eat better, exercise more. And I've started learning Figma because, hey, it's of interest and it's something that's kind of peripheral to my role. And so if you've had experience with this, please share your experience because I think a lot of people could use that information, even if it's just a case of knowing that there are other people out there struggling with the same thing they are. Thanks a million and have a good one.